chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine, PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine, PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track, PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine, PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine, PHG forever, crossing the line.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Round 6, Saturday splits of the GT World Series. I am T. Case, and I am joined in the booth by Tussin Box and Mr. Casual, two guys who raced yesterday and are going to join us with their beautiful voices today. Tussin Box, how are you doing this fine Saturday?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to two more great races here. Friday's races were really intense, especially with the different strategies. So I'm really looking forward to these two races. I'm expecting a lot more of the same as what we saw yesterday.
Awesome. And Mr. Casual, how are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. It's been a busy weekend for me between all the racing and actually working my day job. So it's like hadn't even had a chance to watch the Split 1 race yet, but probably get to it at some point today. But I'm doing all right, all things considered. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. As we know, we had a bit of a scramble earlier today with some network connectivity problems, but everything seems to be running smoothly now. Before we get into it, I do want to mention that we do have a sponsor, Lithograph Comics. Lithograph Comics is not a store, but rather a comic book enthusiast bringing awareness to the hobby and the comic book collecting community. Located on Instagram, you'll find Greg, aka Litho, sharing comic book history, stories, and his personal collection spanning a 35-plus year comic book journey. That's Lithograph Comics on Instagram. Very cool that we have a sponsor. Y'all go check them out. Now, for those of you who weren't tuning in last night and perhaps missed or forgot what happened 2 weeks ago at Round 5 at Spa, our good friend and fellow producer Toon has put together a great recap for us. So we're going to go ahead and take a look what happened in Round 5 of the GT PHG World Series.
Round 5 of the GT PHG WS saw our drivers at Spa-Francorchamps, where there was no shortage of racing action. Split 1 was an intense and drama-filled roller coaster right from the start, as there was contact which resulted in a couple cars spinning out as soon as the lights went green, which may have ruffled some feathers amongst those involved, but the drivers that avoided that must have been breathing a huge sigh of relief. Luckily, come the start of the second lap, everyone got their footing and the racing was nothing short of close for positions 6 through 11s. The drivers knew they'd have to play it safe lest they lose multiple positions. Up at the front of the field, Jorge Sr. made a slipstream slingshot overtake on KP Wilcox and took P1 on the Camel. Jumping back further in the field, the racing was seriously close as a half-second penalty could have costed Velvet Thunder more than one position, which shows how close the racing really was. The close racing started to come to a head at the end of the lap as the driver started to bunch up in the bus stop chicane, which caused a little bit of bumping and grinding as close racing often affords, and unfortunately some of the drivers lost control of their cars. Lap 9 brought not only nightfall but quite a bit of rain with it, which caused some problems for drivers that didn't make it into the pits in time to beat the rain, and as a result they struggled to finish the lap to change out the slicks and onto wet weather tires. After all was said and done, Jorge Sr. took another race victory for the record books. Split 2 started off a lot calmer than Split 1 did, and the racing was even closer than that of Split 1, with all of the drivers remaining within slipstream range for quite a while throughout the race, so the racing was nothing short of edge-of-your-seat exciting for everyone involved in the race and watching along at home. As is the nature of close racing, pushing your car to the limits is a double-edged sword as SCP wound up losing control of his car and unfortunately multiple positions in the process. Lap 9 once again brought the night and the rain, but that didn't slow down the drivers in Split 2 any, as the racing was door-to-door throughout the night. The drivers made sure that they left everything on the table come hell or high water for a chance to gain as many points as possible for their team in this split. Once the rain had left us, the sun had rose, and the track started to dry, Fast Cougar unfortunately couldn't catch a break as a 3-second pit lane infringement was given an extra bit of insult to injury as his car loses control, hitting the wet side of the track serving his penalty, and he falls from P1 to P3 as a result. That sequence of unfortunate events allowed Flux Flare the ability to take the race victory for Split 2. With the final points available race underway, the start to Split 3 was nice and neat, with some drivers trying to capitalize on anyone who didn't have the best start. And speaking of best starts, Evolved wound up gaining 4 positions after Eau Rouge and Radion, but he wasn't done there by any means. Evolved would continue to fight his way up the field for the entirety of the race thanks to how close the racing was for a good portion of this split. There was plenty of action to be had just at the start of this race. Close racing is always high risk, high reward, and things can happen at a moment's notice as we see T-Case get a slight tap that sends him into the gravel trap just outside of campus, costing him 2 positions. The battle for P6 was intense as Evolved and K-Dub were bumping and grinding out of campus, with both drivers fighting as hard as possible for their teams. A slight nudge would send K-Dub off into the grass at Stabilo 1, giving Evolved P6. Once night fell, the rain once again was causing problems for some drivers, but some others were unfazed by it, as the battle for P2 was heating up even throughout the night as Oak and Corn Identity raced on. After the sun came up and the track began to dry, however, Corn Identity had an unfortunate turn of events on his way to Brussels and was caught in a spin I think he imagined would never end. But he didn't let that break his stride, as he was right on Papa's tail trying to make up for lost ground on a partially dry track, doing everything he could to bounce back. Jersey took the race win, and with that, it's back to the booth.
Well, as y'all saw, that was some exciting racing, and all three of us took part in that race. Only race I will be taking part in, and I do have to say it was a lot of fun. But now we're focusing on round 6, and round 6 is 20 laps at Monza, the Temple of Speed. We got 2 times tire wear, 3 times fuel. Racing hards and racing mediums are required. We are in the Group 4 machinery of their manufacturers. This is a manufacturer series. And if you want to know more about this series, the GT PHGWS, please click on the link pinned in the chat. That'll take you to our website and give you all the information you need to be a part of this. You can sign up and continue to finish this series, or you can just do one race that strikes your fancy. We already have some newcomers this round, and we would love to have more. Like I said, this is a manufacturer series, and so we'll go ahead and take a look at the manufacturer's standings. Mr. Casual, do you mind reading us through the manufacturer's standings as of round 5?
Of course. So, with a commanding lead, out in first, we have Genesis with 473. Then you have BMW with a respectable 372. And a little over 100 points behind them in third is Ferrari with 261. Then you have Lamborghini, I guess they like twos. 222 for fourth, and then fifth we have Mazda. In sixth we have Nissan, just 1 point behind Mazda, and then not far behind is McLaren, who happens to actually fallen a spot for seventh. Then in eighth we have Porsche, who actually moved up a spot, and then in ninth we have Chevrolet. I know it hurts Sal's soul that they've lost a spot, but I think they can make it back. Then in 10th, you have Toyota. And in 11th, we have Lexus. Then we have in 12th, Honda. And then you have in 13th, Citroen. And in 14th, we have Dodge. And then you also have 15th, Renault. 16th, AMG. 17th is Alfa Romeo, and with 0 points, you have both Audi and AMG.
Indeed, and there are only a couple Audi and AMG drivers. Well, I see AMG listed there twice, so I think there is a slight mix-up here on these standings, but we'll get them all updated for the next round and make sure everything is clear and ready to go. But like we said, this is a manufacturer series. Every driver picks one manufacturer, and then depending on the combo, whether it's Group 3 or Group 4, they will use that manufacturer. And we're seeing that Genesis is strong in both Group 3 and Group 4. That is for sure. And the way these splits are split up is by qualifying during the week. Everyone qualifies during the week, and then that determines your split. So today we have splits 2 and split 4. And let's go ahead and take a look here at split 2. Tussenbox, do you mind reading us through our split 2 drivers? Note that Wade CBR has been substituted by Pyro. Pyro was supposed to race yesterday and could not, and so he and Wade swapped places.
Yep. So as T-Case mentioned, Pyro will be taking the place for Wade CBR. I don't recall what car he's driving. We'll see soon enough. We have Beans driving for Team AMG. I do believe he's not able to make it either, but correct me if I'm wrong there. RW in the BMW. I believe that's the first BMW we've seen this weekend. A PHG Turbo in the Porsche. PHG Arrow, driving for Team Genesis. BHR Beavis, driving for Team McLaren. Flux Flare, also driving for Team Porsche. RSR Zilla in the Lexus. Fellow commentator, who I do not believe will make this race, is Leo 2443 for Mazda. Jazam, driving for Team Citroen. PHG It's Just Carl, driving for Genesis. Old Man Pit, driving for Renault. PHG Strychnine, driving for Nissan. And last but not least, we have T-Rex Arms in the Soul Alfa Romeo in this split.
Indeed, T-Rex Arms in the Alfa Romeo. And so each split, it gets different points. The higher the split, the more points available. But there are some bonus points out there that can be earned on top of where you finish. And those bonus points are this. Fastest overall qualifier is 5 points. Pole of the split is 5 points. Fastest lap of your split is 5 points. Most laps led of your split is 5 points. And if you lead one lap, you get 1 point. So there are potential for some extra points on there for those here in split 2 to potentially get a few more points than someone finishing at the bottom in split 1. Very fun way these points are distributed. It does pay off to qualify well and be in those top splits to get the maximum number of points. So, gentlemen, you both raced in this race yesterday. I watched those races yesterday. What are you thinking, Tussenbox, as far as the qualifying goes? Are we going to see drivers diving in the pits for fresh tires or just running it all the way for the full 10 minutes?
I think the best strat would be to stay out for the entire 10-minute session because you don't get a whole lot of tire wear on those soft tires. I could see somebody pitting maybe to avoid giving someone the slip or maybe trying to drop back a little bit to try to get in some slip. But yeah, I think the best course here is to just stay on that same set of softs.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you mentioned the slipstream. Mr. Casual, when you were qualifying yesterday, did you have yourself a teammate out there, somebody who you were gaining a little slipstream, or were you kind of on your own out there?
No, I kind of prefer to run on my own because it's like your whole quality can make or break if the person you're working with makes a mistake or not. So I was like, well, I know what I can do. So I wanted to at least get a pretty decent time in. So I was like, plus you know how some of these lobbies can be. You can have someone with a solid connection, but they still be twerking, if you will.
Little bouncy, little zigging and zagging. Absolutely.
So yeah, I probably could have gotten into the 59s if I found someone, but I just felt more at ease and more comfortable on my own.
Fair enough. And yeah, I think it is a personal preference and also a little bit of luck. Sometimes you just might find yourself with just enough slipstream and still be far enough back. But we did see a difference between Tussenbox, you were in top split, and Mr. Casual, you were in third split. A difference in how close all the drivers were. It seemed that in your qualifying, Tussem, everybody was spread out a little bit more. There was a couple clusters, whereas Mr. Casual, your split, everyone seemed pretty close together, which made it hard on our part to try to keep track of who was what, doing where, and setting times. But it did make for some exciting qualifying, as clearly some people were getting in the way of others. And it's qualifying. You don't have to get out of the way. I mean, if you're in front, you're entitled to that spot, but you're also allowed to work together. We saw some of the, as CBR drivers like to do, working together and trying to maximize their qualifying times. And speaking of, it looks like they are about to get started here. So let's switch over and check out this qualifying. And again, our sponsor there, thanks to Salamander, we have a nice little QR code If you're interested in checking out Lithograph Comics, please do. You can scan that QR code or just type in Lithograph Comics on Instagram. Let's go through here and take a look at everybody's liveries. And here we have Pyro. You were mentioning Tussenbox. You couldn't remember. He is in the Jenny. He is in the Genesis. Very cool looking red and black livery with the Mountain Dew PHG there on the side.
Nice.
Turbo rocking the Lithograph Comics. I love seeing how many drivers are taking to our sponsor, putting it on their car. Turbo in the Porsche. I think he's got plenty of red on there. I think red makes you go fast. Looking good. And we have Zilla, RSR driver, in the Lexus. One of the few Lexus drivers out there. And you don't see the Group 4 Lexus very often, but a lot of red so far. A lot of red so far. And we have Jazam. Look at this machine. With the forged carbon. Jazam! With the lightning bolt on the front. Lithograph Comics. Papa's House of Games. I see he used me as his taillights. I love seeing that. A lot of fun. We have T-Rex.
I wonder if that means you see red a lot.
A lot, right? T-Rex arms in his classic Jurassic Park Alfa Romeo. We're getting accustomed to seeing that one. I do love Strychnine's livery. I think this is just great. The skeleton Medusa. You got the scales, the good orange and red. Very nice, very nice. BHR Beavis in the Captain America McLaren with the Lithograph Comics. We got Beavis on the side, of course. Beavis Racing League, BRL. And BHRL, of course, Beehive Racing. Old Man Pip in the Renault.
And I did see earlier, Papa said he's going to drop $1,000 if Leo wins.
Well, Leo, get in here. Get in here. It's just Carl in the America Mobile. U.S. Navy there. Looking very nice. Lithograph Comics as well. Followed by Arrow and his signature colors, that maroon and orangish yellow. We got the Lithograph Comics. Love how much this league is embracing its sponsors. We've already looked at Pyro RW in the BMW M4. Let's Vibe, he says on the back. Looking good. Flux Flare, also Team Porsche. We got Swatch, we got Tag Heuer. And Red Bull, a little monster on there. I believe that takes us through the whole field as these drivers are on their first flying lap. We'll ride on board with Carl. He'll be the first one across the line. And he's got...
We got a line of Genocide in the top 3 coming around Parabolica.
Looks like Pyro's getting full advantage of that slip. He almost had to overtake Arrow and get out of the way a little bit so he could catch his braking zone. I have a feeling Pyro will take P1 at the moment. Sure enough, Pyro, Arrow, and Carl right there. As Flux Flare hops up into P3, RW into P6.
Not bad for that Porsche.
Not bad at all. So, Pyro and Arrow definitely taking full advantage of Carl's slipstream, really allowing themselves to get quite a quick time. A 2-minute flat by Pyro and a 2-minute 4:15 from Arrow. And now Pyro and Arrow again, just bumper to bumper. Pyro can push Arrow along, Arrow punching a hole in the air, quite literally, as an arrow would do, leading the way. Curious to see what Arrow's sector time is going to be as they come around Lesmos 1 and 2. It's just Carl not too far behind. Hopefully he can get a little slip action in this Team Jenny.
I guess if they die, it becomes a genocide.
What if they all do? Yes.
Yeah.
That would be the term. And he is not up on his time.
Nope.
Let's see. Flux Flare is up, and he is in the slipstream of RW. So Flux Flare able to improve. I'm curious if RW is going to improve their time. RW currently sitting at a 2-minute 8:49, and just has a mirror full of a Porsche Cayman.
Oh boy.
Let's see what happens as they come around Parabolica.
Wonder who's going to be the first to get to 59.
And that RW moves up to
Whoa.
P2 and Flux Flare up to P3.
Okay.
RW on the move, making that BMW look really good. It looks like Flux Flare is done following as they go side by side into the chicane. RW paving the way, letting him through, and now RW can take advantage of some slipstream. Let's go take a look at what's going on with Zilla now. Zilla in the Lexus, followed by Shazam. They're going to come around to the first sector marker into the second chicane. We'll see if they're able to improve it all.
Let's see.
And he has gone purple.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Something was
Yeah, I
telling
think-
me. Go ahead, Tessam.
Oh, I was just
That was
saying,
casual.
yeah. I was just saying, I was like, oh, I think he's got something to say about that current time on the board.
Yep, we'll stay on board with him. See what he's looking at as he approaches the end of the second sector.
All right. See.
Goes under the bridge and across the line. Is he still up?
He
He's up on his
Yes.
personal, but
Yeah.
not on the overall time. So that would put him above Turbo. Where's Turbo currently on track? Turbo
See.
just ahead.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he is in the slipstream of RW, so we'll see what Turbo does and then check back in on Zilla.
All right.
Coming around Parabolica. Turbo using all the track in that Porsche Cayman.
He
Turbo improves.
improves.
And
Zilla.
Zilla improves just a
Ooh.
1-4-1 ahead of Turbo.
Okay.
And looks like this will be the final lap for everyone out there. Let's go check in on some other drivers. It's just Carl, still behind his Genesis brethren of Aero and Pyro. Pyro's still able to sit P1, but it's just Carl has now gone purple at the end of the first sector. Anything standing
Yeah.
out to you so far, Tussum, in this qualifying?
The one thing that I wanted to mention is that I'm watching Old Man Pip. He's all the way in the back of the pack in no man's land, but he has a pretty respectable time of 2 minutes point 9. It's putting him in P9, so he's doing what he can without that slip, and he's not doing too bad either.
Indeed, as Aero goes into the pits, I
Okay.
believe he reset to the pits because he was literally just in front of Carl. Maybe Aero was done giving Carl that slipstream and he felt he was not able to improve.
Yeah.
And he said, instead of continuing to tow this guy along, I'm going to get out the way and
Yeah.
let him finish this lap on his own. Because it was looking like Carl would leapfrog Aero, and I still think he might as they come into the final turn. And we're about to hit
We got
that.
word from Arrow said he got a penalty on his last lap.
So he was done. He was done. I see. He's going to use that as the excuse, but we all know he really just didn't want to give Carl And Carl able to improve. He's
Ooh.
able to leapfrog Jazam.
And Turbo is our new fastest.
Wow, P Turbo with a 59.8, and RW also able to get ahead of Pyro as well. Very nicely done. So a last second shakeup, which we did see that yesterday with Papa leapfrogging up into P2 at the end of qualifying there. So Turbo with the last second upset in the Porsche.
Old man Pip, he just improved to a 2:04 and jumps into P6.
Nice.
Very nicely done in the Renault. And he's not in the trophy, which we all thought was an interesting choice because typically people go for the Magani trophy, but he's just in the standard. And he seems to be making it work for him. 6th place, very respectable position. But Team Porsche looking solid out there. Turbo looking to get some really good points for his team. I am privy to the Team Porsche private group chat, so I do know they've been sharing strategies and working together to do the best for Team Porsche. I love to see the teamwork out there, and it is excellent to see. We'll wait for qualifying to wrap up and then go through these final qualifying results before getting into the race. And one thing to note, we know how quick the Genesis is off the line. In our last 2 races, the Genesis was on pole both times. And now the Genesis has got some cars ahead of them. Tussenbox, will you take us through these results, please?
Sure thing. So in pole position, we have PHG Turbo with the 159.879. Lining up beside him on the front row is RW, just less than a tenth behind with a 59.961. On the second row, we have PHG Pyro, followed by RSR Zilla. In P5, we have Flux Flare, and then in P6, we have Old Man Pit, excuse me. Starting in 7th, PHG Arrow, and PHG It's Just Carl completes the all Genesis 4th row. I keep getting Hyundai and Genesis mixed up.
The same thing.
PHG Jazam will start in P9, and PHG Strict 9 will start in P10. And on the final row, we have BHR Beavis in the McLaren, and T-Rex Arms in the 4C, starting in P12.
So P1 through 10, all within a second of each other. And that's what we've been seeing all weekend long. These splits are tight. And look how close RW and Turbo are. Less than a tenth. What are we thinking as far as tire strategy goes, Mr. Casual? Where are you thinking the cutoff is for hards? We did see an upset yesterday with Evolved starting on the hards, but that definitely hurt them going into turn 1.
Well, it's possible that if you could get at least another person to agree to start on hards, just like you and another person could start hards, go however long you need to on the hards, and then hop on to the mediums, because then it would just be you and the other person. So if you can find someone who's agreeable to that strategy, you could go that way.
Indeed.
But I did see, since there's only one McLaren, it's like you might have with that car, it's like if you can keep it pointed in the right direction, you can have a good chance with that. But yeah, the Genesis has the pace. It's just a matter of trying to navigate the woes that are bound to happen on the first lap.
Indeed, and we've seen plenty of woes. Another thing to consider is fuel around here. We learned that quite often in the races yesterday. Some cars better on fuel than others. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking, Tussenbox, of which cars are going to have to fuel save versus which cars are going to be able to go flat out?
Based off of what we saw last night, the Genesis is probably the biggest contender for the worst fuel mileage. We did see someone in a McLaren. They'd have to pit a little bit earlier, but two other McLarens, they were able to extend their stints quite a while. I think they pit on like lap 16 or 17, somewhere around there.
Yes.
The one thing that I do know is that Pyro will be leading into turn one because that G70 is a rocket off the line.
Indeed, it is a rocket, and I think that the Cayman's pretty good off the line. I'm not sure about that M4. And then it'll be interesting as well to see how Arrow and Carl get off the line, having the Megane and the Cayman in front of them. But it looks like we're about to get started here. I am excited for this one to get going. This is Split 2, brought to you by Lithograph Comics. Don't forget to go check them out on the Instagrams, because it's time to get this party started. As Turbo is going to lead us off the line here. He's got the wipers going. He's ready to rock and roll. The lights are on. The lights are out. And look at that off the line. The Cayman seeming to be better off the line as Flux Flare is kind of making a move on Pyro and gaining on RW. They're looking like they're going to try to go 3 wide into the first chicane. Flux Flare on the inside. Full send up the inside. There's not enough space for all three. Pyro gets bumped. Pyro up into P2. RW side by side. We're going to go back because Turbo has since run away with it. We'll ride on board with RW. And I'm going to be sure to save that so we can go back and take a look at that replay. Flux Flare full send up the inside. Bumping RW into Pyro. Pyro able to get ahead of RW, but not for long on exit as we come into the second chicane. And there's a huge class, RSR Zilla. We're going to ignore the first one and go back and take a look at that second one here. Let's go take a look. We need to get on board with RSR Zilla. Let's see what happens here. Does he get bumped by Old Man Pip? Yes, he gets bumped by Old Man Pip. Goes into It's Just Carl. And that is the Constantina effect as Carl gets reset. And that is a 4-second penalty for RSR Zilla.
Oh, dang.
That is rough. That is rough. Let's go back to the action as things seem to have settled down after that chicane 2 incident, and that was bad. We saw in one of the other races a little bit of a accordion effect going on, but nobody got taken out as Pyro runs wide and gets a penalty.
Yeah.
Jazam in P6. And wow, what an exciting thought as T-Rex Arms dives down the inside of Strychnine. Is T-Rex Arms able to get the job done? No, he's not. He has to back out of it. The outside line tends to be a bit stronger there, but he may get a bit of a run on Strychnine going into the first chicane. It is now lap 2. What an eventful opening lap here as they all come screaming across the line. It is unfortunate, that incident. Tussenbox, what are your thoughts on the first chicane incident and then the second chicane incident?
Yeah, it's Monza, so there's going to be a huge Constantina effect going into that first corner. I'm watching T-Rex Arms. He's actually getting overtaken by It's Just Carl coming out of the first chicane. T-Rex Arms, he actually had a really good start. He jumped from P12 up to P9 before even getting to the first chicane. But yeah, it looks like this is the stage of the race where he's going to struggle a little bit, although he is on the hard tire. So I don't know, maybe this race will come to him later on in the second half, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right. And it looks like It's Just Carl now trying to make his way up to Strychnine. Carl, a victim of that chicane number 2 incident, getting the full reset, trying to make up as many positions as possible in that Genesis. Now, are you able to see what tires everyone is on, Tussum? Are you in the lobby?
Yes, so...
Okay, yeah.
All right, so Pyro is on the hard tires. Arrow and Jazam are on the hards. T-Rex, Evis are on the hards. All other drivers are on mediums.
All right, so interesting. Pyro in P3 on the hards, doing that same strategy as Evolved. As It's Just Carl is well in the slipstream. He's going to go up the inside. Let's see if he can make the move stick. He is ahead, but again, it's hard to get this move pulled off on the inside. You have to wait a little bit longer to get on the throttle. Both these cars are all-wheel drive, so they're both getting similar grip, and it's going to be side by side. Strict 9 able to pull up a little bit, but Carl's going to have the inside going into the chicane, which, as we know, in a chicane, the inside quickly turns into the outside. So it's not always the best place to be, as Strict 9 is ahead. Who's going to be later on the brakes? It is Strict 9 late on the brakes. He's able to make the apex, get it done, and now they've caught up to Jazam. And how is Jazam going to play this, as It's Just Carl getting a little bit better run, with Strict 9 being blocked slightly by Jazam. Now this is something you ran into, Tussum, yesterday, coming out of that first chicane and then having a slower car ahead of you. Can be a little frustrating, right?
Yeah, it's an unfortunate circumstance. Only thing you can really do is bump draft that slower car and hope that you can at least put the other drivers in an awkward position to maybe grab a position or two.
And it looks like awkward positions have been given, as everybody's fighting into Lesmo 1. We got T-Rex Arms making a move on It's Just Carl after that side-by-side action, and there's a big bump. Beavis into Carl, into T-Rex Arms. That was tough. Let's go back and take a look at what happened here. As we see T-Rex Arms and Beavis. T-Rex Arms desperate to find a way through, trying to go up the inside. There's just nowhere for anybody to go. And I believe we're going to see... no, it was Carl. Late on the brakes. Beavis had nothing to do with that one. Carl laid on the brakes into the back of T-Rex Arms, and unfortunate for T-Rex Arms there.
Yeah, I think stewards might have something to say about that.
Yep, and It's Just Carl with a half-second penalty. We'll go looking up ahead as Flux is on the heels of Pyro. Pyro in P3 on the racing hards. Had that exciting start as Flux goes down the inside. He's able to get P3. Can he hold on to P3? Yes, he can. That was very nicely done. Keep it on the tarmac. And there you go. A clean pass into turn 1/2. Now he's going to have to deal with the power of the Genesis on this long, flat-out right-hander going into the second chicane. There is a tire difference. Is Pyro going to make a move? No, he's going to stay tucked in and say, keep on going, pull me along. This is just fine.
Yeah, I'd say unless you're side by side and going to the second chicane, yeah, you kind of want to play it safe.
I was going to say that Arrow was a part of that battle for P3 just behind Flux Flare before he got overtaken, but Arrow had to serve a 1-second penalty, so now he's about 3.5 seconds behind that group now.
Indeed, and it looks like just behind him, Strict 9, Jazam, It's Just Carl, all battling it out for P6. Carl is going to have to serve that half-second penalty. So really a battle between Jazam and Strict 9. What's going to happen as they come into Ascari? Strict 9 getting nice clean air. Jazam staying in nicely. Carl tucking into the slip, hoping that half-second penalty doesn't hurt him too bad. He's going to fall a little bit, and we see just behind them, it is Beavis and Zilla making up a lot of positions after that lap 1 incident, landing him a 4-second penalty. So good recovery from Zilla. He is on the mediums, trying his hardest to make up those positions. We'll see, is he going to get a run going into the first chicane? I think he's going to. Or is he going to be satisfied to stay tucked in? We'll see here momentarily. Yeah. T-Rex Arms goes into the pits. And Zilla taking a peek. Is he going to be late? No, he's early on the brakes. just getting in Beavis's mirrors, letting him know he's there, and being safe not to end up rear-ending Beavis and landing himself another penalty. We'll go up.
I wonder if he's aware that Beavis is on the hard tire. If he knows that, then I would hope that he would try to get around him quickly so he can get the most out of those mediums that he's got on now.
And I think he's
like
realizing that,
Yeah.
You can really tell under
inside of the
acceleration.
chicane.
And there he goes. That was beautiful.
Yep.
That was textbook. Yeah, you really notice the tire difference on acceleration, and I think as they accelerated out of the first chicane, he realized, wait a minute, I'm on the quicker tire. I need to get around these guys. And now he's got Jazam in his sights, little ways ahead. Let's go back up and see what's going on here with Flux and Pyro, as Pyro has a half-second penalty, so Flux able to get up there. Pyro trying to hold on. Oh, now it's turned into a 1 second penalty. Pyro seems to be struggling on those racing hard tires.
Yeah, he's gonna stay on. He's gonna have to stay on them for quite a few laps because, as we saw, the Genesis just does not have that fuel economy that other cars have. Although I'm looking at the gas usage for most of the other cars, and he's not doing much worse than the other cars. He's pulling in the pits now, so he's gonna try to get 15 laps on one tank of gas in that Genesis, and I think most other drivers were pitting a little closer to the midway point.
Yes, they were. It was around 7 or 8 or 9, and Arrow follows suit, also in the Genesis. So let's see here if Strychnine gonna try to put a move on Carl. No, he is not. And we also, the lap prior, T-Rex Arms did go into the pit, so we've had at least 3 drivers already serve their pit stop. Again, the drivers must use the racing hards and the racing mediums. Now, Mr. Casual, did you notice a big difference between the hards and mediums? Not necessarily as far as lap time goes, but drivability?
Well, I can't speak for the other cars, but with the 650, it's like not really, I would say. Even though I only ever used the hards for like 2 laps, but it's like Monza, it doesn't really have that many break-in zones, because that's where you would feel the difference between the medium and the hards is the grip levels, and the fact that that braking is minimal around here, that helps. And if you are on the higher herder tire and you can just be behind someone, then they're just pulling you along and actually saving you time. So
indeed, and we're seeing a change for the lead as Turbo had a good lead, ends up with a half-second penalty. That puts RW in the lead. So far, Turbo has led the most laps, but we're only at the end of lap 6, about to start lap 7, and RW has taken the lead. So if RW can hold on to this, he'll at least get the points for 1 lap led. But can he potentially take over as most laps led? Because we're not even halfway through.
One thing about that BMW is that we all know that the secret of that BMW is to short shift it really early. So it's already going to be saving fuel compared to the cars behind. I'm looking, and he's got maybe about 5-6 more liters on fuel on board. So looks like so far he'll be able to stretch that medium stint out a bit longer than Turbo and Flair behind.
Indeed. And we did see some of those drivers, pitting at the end of lap 19 and just doing 1 lap on the hard. So certain cars definitely can extend it longer on the medium tires with that fuel. And we know that you lose about 24 seconds in the pit, so you're definitely going to want to have at least a 24-second gap if you want to come out ahead of somebody. But Turbo already applying the pressure to RW. RW may not get a full lap led. We'll see what happens as we go into Ascari. We'll look at it. Turbo drives in VR, so we will look at it as what Turbo is seeing. This is Turbo's view. He gives him a little bump going into Ascari. They get on the brakes. He's having to slow down a little bit much, lose a bit of momentum. Can he get back on the throttle, not run it too wide? That could be a penalty. And
no!
and the commentator's
Oh,
curse
no.
strikes again. I am so sorry, my friend. I did not mean to do that to you. I do apologize. Let's see exactly what happened here.
Jeez. Poor Turbo.
Poor
At the rate
Turbo.
he's going, he's not going to need enemies with you around.
No. And he just runs a little bit wide, and sure enough,
Yeah.
my sincerest apologies, Turbo. He's still in P3 with a healthy gap to It's Just Carl, so could be worse. Could be worse. And he does have quite a few laps led. Flux Flare, 1.5 seconds off of RW. So Porsche's sitting 2 and 3 currently. We'll go back to It's Just Carl, who has a healthy gap to Strict 9, who has RSR Zilla now on the back of him, as we see Beavis going into the pits to get off of his hard tires.
By the way,
Yeah.
I see you're getting reprimanded by Hector.
My apologies, Hector. No woman dancing for me at the moment. And I still owe a Tussum a little bit of a talking to, with my 3-second penalty coming out of the pits in his lead commentating debut there. I won't hold it against you, Tussum, though.
I mean, look, I'm bound to get one of these days.
Indeed. Tussum, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the tires. We heard Mr. Casual talking between the racing hards and the mediums. He was in the McLaren. You were in the Viper. What was the difference there as far as your hard and medium tire running?
Honestly, it wasn't too much. I mean, like casual, I only did 2 laps on the hards. They were just there for me to finish the race. I didn't really feel too much of a difference. And again, as casual said, that the slipstream kind of keeps you in touch with other drivers around you. So it's not really that much of a loss around here, especially if you can stay within slip.
Indeed, and we saw that right there. Zilla just giving Strict 9 a little bit of a bump, similar to what Turbo did, but luckily both drivers were able to keep it on the track. I think we'll see another bump from Zilla, and no, he's going to go for it here.
Oh.
Zilla going for it, side by side with Strict 9. That's going to put him, nope.
Oh.
He gets ahead, okay.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Awkward camera view, my apologies. And there we go. Zilla ahead going into Parabolica on the way down as we start lap 9. RW
All right.
still in the lead. Are there any other close battles on track, Pyro, or is this the closest one we got at the moment?
Yeah, the battle for P8 looks like that's the closest battle. I am keeping an eye out on the lap times between P1 and Pyro, who is the leader of the drivers with pit already, and he's going a bit slower. Like the gap has gone up. Oh,
As Arrow
that
misses
was
his
a
braking.
send, but he doesn't.
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't make it stick. I don't know if it was late braking or if it was a send, but yeah, he got a little wide coming into the second part of that chicane. And
Let's look at this again. Tell me what you see, Tussum.
all right, so in the slip, I
Ooh.
think that was late braking. He swerved out of the way to avoid coming into the rear of Pyro.
Indeed, and we saw that a couple times yesterday, and I think
Yeah.
that happened to you once or twice as well, correct?
Yes, the send that I had on McNaughty and I think it was C-Dubs, I didn't mean to brake when I did, but it happened to have worked out. I wasn't going for an overtake. It just happened that way.
So Old Man Pip has a 1.5. I was hoping we would be able to catch it, but no, we were not. That's a
you
hefty
gotta be
penalty.
careful with, around here, both with the pins and what I was going to say initially about slip. It's like it can help you, but if you're not careful, it can bite you as well.
Indeed. And RW.
In my experience,
yeah.
that if he got all that in one go, I would imagine he cut the first chicane because for some reason that first chicane is super strict with the penalties that they give out.
Indeed. And they've got an 11-second gap on Turbo. Turbo is now seeing It's Just Carl, RSR Zilla, and Strict 9 all in the rear view mirrors. So Strict 9 only 19 seconds off RW. Of course, all these drivers are going to have to pit. So that'll not affect them as far as being able to leapfrog into the pits. But as you were saying with Pyro back there, he's only 32 seconds off the lead. So that'll leapfrog him when the others pit, probably above Turbo, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say if everyone were to pit now, Pyro would most likely end up in P3. He'd probably be around the pit delta's 24 seconds. He'd be about 7 to 8 seconds behind. So, yeah, I mean the mediums. I mean he's doing what he can, but he's gonna want to pick up the pace if he's gonna want to attack towards the end of this race.
Absolutely, and having Arrow right there behind him, I'm sure, is a bit distracting. But they seem to be working together. PHG teammates, Genesis teammates, trying their best not to ruin each other's race.
You know, something that I just thought about for these manufacturers races, I know that the drivers driving for the same manufacturers are, somewhat working together, but it also is a competition because remember, the two highest scored teammates of a manufacturer will enter the final series of races.
Indeed, that is something good to remember. So, well, it's good to get the points for your team. You want to be the best in your team. Something we see quite a lot in the Formula One world for sure, as your teammate is your closest rival.
All right, we're at the halfway point as we're along with Arrow.
And this is kind of where things slowed down a bit. And as we saw yesterday, once we get into those final 4 laps is when it all pops off again. But they seem to be gaining there on Old Man Pip, only 3 seconds ahead. Hopefully they can get their
Old Man Pip's last lap was a 2:02.1. Pyro's last lap was a 2:01.9, so I'm not sure what happened. He's been running in the mid to low 2:01s. That 2:01.9 is a bit of an outlier for him currently.
Yeah, and we did see him dip a couple toes in the gravel on a couple of these exits, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's slowed him down a little bit, or if he's also thinking about, they did pit early, like we were saying, for those Genesis. They pitted quite a bit early, as he has now gone purple, so the pace has picked up. So maybe my thought of fuel saving is incorrect, as we saw there, running a little bit wide. But Arrow picking up a 1 second penalty. Let's see if we can go back and see where he got that. I believe it would have been from cutting part of the chicane, either the entrance or the exit. This Arrow was
Probably
also purple.
Exit?
Ooh, no, it was the entrance
No,
there.
an entry. Oh. Because usually that entry is pretty lax, but yeah, you can't just do whatever you want to it.
And it looked like Pyro got one for the exit of one of the Lesmo corners. So they're both going to serve a penalty. Arrow's worse than Pyro's, but will help keep them together, still in each other's slipstream. But unfortunately, he's going to lose some ground there to Old Man Pip.
But we got to move for P1. Flex Flare, he's just went purple 2 laps in a row. I think RW is going to concede, but Flex Flare takes the lead going into turn 1.
Very nice, smoothly. He had the overspeed, getting a better exit out of Parabolica, and just able to smoothly get through into P1. Very nicely done. So we're having, so far, if Flux can lead an entire lap, that'll be 3 lap leaders. Turbo so far has still led the most laps, though. So that is a positive there for Turbo as far as points go, as it was unfortunate. He did a spin very similar to Papa, and it looks here as I'm going to let's see here if I can do something. Y'all keep talking from what you can see.
All right. It's a bit clearer now.
There we go. It's speeding back up. Okay. We just had a small dip.
Yeah.
And now it's back. Okay. I do apologize,
Yeah, it seems to
everyone.
be going back and
We
forth.
had some internet issues at my house today, and so we're running in less than ideal circumstances, but it appears that everything is running smoothly again. So
All right.
The Flux Flare, since taking the lead, he's pulled almost a 1 second gap over RW, so he's almost out of slipstream range, which would be helpful in his race in the long run.
indeed. So there we go. We're getting a lap led from Flux Flare. If he can continue this one.
Nice.
Let's see, is Carl catching Turbo yet? Nope. A 1.7 second gap. So it looks like just behind them, RSR Zilla in P5 with Strict 9, 1.5 seconds as well. So everybody's spread out a little bit here.
Oh, RW, he just picked up a 1.5 second pen
Ooh.
coming out of Ascari. So that's going to put him even further behind P1.
Yeah.
Ooh. That is tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it was the first chicane with where he got that one at.
And that's brutal, cutting that first chicane. Oh, as Flux runs wide, that's going to bring RW closer to him, but like we know with that 1/2 second penalty, even if he is able to catch him, he's not going to be able to stay there.
Oh my.
Drivers coming up to Ascari. Both drivers smooth, not taking too much curb. RW gets a little bit of an extra speed coming out of the corner, gets as much slip as he can before he serves that penalty. He's about 12.5 seconds ahead of PHG Turbo, so he's not under any immediate threat just yet.
Indeed. So he's got a good old gap there to Turbo. We'll go back with It's Just Carl as he continues to run and pull onto Turbo, getting a good exit.
All right.
Is crucial. He is gaining. He is gaining ever so slightly. He might be in slipstream range as they exit the first chicane.
Yeah.
PHG Pyro in his pursuit of P7, he's now just under 1/2 second behind, coming into lap 14. He's getting some slip. He might be within striking distance, but I suspect he'll sit tight for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Because we're still not quite at that point where you're going to start
Oh, as he
trying
goes
to
purple.
make your move. Ooh.
Carl going purple here. And thank you, Joe Collins, for the $5. Look, Ma, I'm on YouTube. Shout out to Joe Collins, livery or decal and livery extraordinaire. If you're interested in getting your decal into the game, hit up Mr. Joe Collins, aka Draxus. And it looks
Back
like
in my day, that was enough for a foot long at Subway.
not anymore. And they're not even a foot long these days.
Was it like 10.5, 11 inches now?
I haven't had Subway in a long time.
Yeah, it's once in a blue moon for me. I think I don't know, even know if I've had Subway this year at all.
I definitely have not.
I had Subway last month. Every once in a while, I get a little. They do buy one get one free coupons every so often.
We're gonna
that's not too
ride
bad.
here with Pyro and Old Man Pip, as it looks like he might be able to make a move going into Parabolica. He goes onto the inside, thinks better of it, not quite there. Definitely the first chicane is the way to go, I think. especially with the overspeed he's going to have coming out of this corner. I imagine he's going to get the move done before they even get there. He's just kind of staying tucked in the slip. No, he continues to stay tucked in the slip. He's got Arrow behind him. Is he going to pull out last second? Yes, he is. Coming into the braking
Renault
zone.
is really fast in the straights, man. As soon
really
as Pyro pulled out
is.
of the slip, he started gaining on him.
And well done to Old Man Pip.
Nice.
Keeping that tiny little Renault in front of the PHG Pyro and the Genesis, which is a very large vehicle. So we come around to the second chicane, looking backwards, having two Genesis behind him as Old Man Pip goes purple in the first sector. And
but he goes a bit deep into the second chicane. It's going to allow Pyro to sneak on the inside and take P7. And Old Arrow looks like he's going to try to get in on that too.
that is
On down the inside at Lesmo 1.
unfortunate for Old Man Pip. We'll take a look at this again. It's Old Man Pip looking like he has it easily taken care of. He does go too deep, gets a lot of that sausage. That allows Pyro and Arrow on the inside, and unfortunately he loses 2 positions in the span of 2 corners, and that hurts. That's a morale, not what's the opposite of a booster.
Mood killer.
Mood killer, there we go. But Old Man Pip's gonna
Although-
stick with it.
That's usually used in other contexts, but
A morale
I won't comment
killer.
on that here.
There we go. Yeah.
it's
As
just
we
Carl
see-
is pulling into the pits.
so
Okay.
He's gonna do
Yeah.
about 5 or 6 laps on those, or 5 laps on the hard.
Hard.
Strict 9 also in the pits. Arzilla staying out.
Moralizing, that's the word we're looking for.
Demoralizing, yes. There's lots of words. We got ourselves a thesaurus of people in the chat. Zilla, I mean, he still needs to pit, but considering that first lap mishap, being back up into P4, that is not bad at all. 13 seconds ahead of Pyro.
I think those last couple of sectors, Pyro gained about 7 to 8 tenths on the leader. And let's see that he just went purple into the first sector, so he's picking up the pace a little bit. Flux Flare still putting together really good lap times, but his fuel is looking really low, so I suspect if he's not in this lap, he'll be in the next lap to switch to those hards.
Indeed. And it's Arrow and Pyro all through qualifying, all through this race. These two have been joined nose to tail. And they have been taking a lot of sausage in these chicanes. I think the Genesis with its all-wheel drive and its little bit higher ride height can take a little more sausage abuse than some of these other cars.
And, to be fair, those Italian sausages are really delicious.
That is true. That is true. And just like you said, Tussum, Flux Flare into the pits. 4% fuel left. That leaves RW out. He's got a lap of fuel remaining. Zilla staying out. He's got it's going to be tight on fuel for Zilla. That's going to allow Pyro and Arrow. No, Flux comes out ahead of both of them. So Flux Flare able to maintain that P4. How close are they going to be? He is up in the distance, already going through the first chicane. So good on Flux Flare to maintain that track position. And only being 21 seconds off of RW, if he's able to put in a good outlap, that's going to be Flux Flare back into P1 when RW, Turbo, and Zilla go into the pits.
Yeah, Flux, he hasn't really put a foot wrong so far. He's put himself in prime position to be able to take this win.
Indeed, looking good for Team Porsche in Split 2. Let's go further back in the field and take a look at some drivers we haven't looked at. Shazam and T-Rex Arms battling it out.
Okay.
Both having pit already. Both on the racing medium tires, battling for hashtag not last. Seems to be our closest battle on track at the moment, since Aero and Pyro don't seem to be battling at all. And that's a 1 second penalty for Shazam. He has fatality written on the back of his bumper. This might be his fatality for this race as we are approaching the end of lap 17. RW goes into the pits. Turbo, I imagine, will follow suit. That is Turbo into the pits.
All right.
RSR Zilla will come into the pits. Flux Flare only 3.8 seconds back. That's Flux Flare back ahead. I'm not sure if he has led more laps than Turbo. It's going to be hard to see, but RW is coming out. RW comes out. They're side by side. No, more overspeed from Flux Flare.
Yeah.
Can't quite pick up the pace.
Yeah, he's going to be not far behind.
Not far behind at all. And he almost runs a little bit wide. And that was very close. I want to take a look at that again here and just see what it looked like as he comes out of the pits. There goes Flux Flare. He's doing his best, but he has to short shift that BMW. And just, that was so tight. A little bit of netcode there, a little jump. And there we have it. Flux Flare back into the lead. And Pyro does get ahead of Turbo as well as Aero. Turbo able to stay ahead of It's Just Carl and Zilla. So Pyro back up into P3. He's only 6.5 seconds off the lead. Can he and Aero make up that time in these remaining laps?
I don't know. I think that's a tall order. 2 seconds per lap. I think at this point, Arrow's got to be thinking, you know what? This is now a battle for P3. How can I get around this other Genesis?
Indeed,
because that's what I would be thinking.
I agree 100%. And if you look at Pyro's fastest lap, a 1:59.848, that's just barely slower than Flux Flare's fastest of a 1:59.808. So they are very similar as far as fastest lap time, but you're right, now Pyro has to start thinking about who's behind him instead of what's ahead of him.
Went around Parabolica to finish off lap 18. Pyro taking some unorthodox lines maybe to try to break up that slipstream a little bit.
And Aero takes the fastest lap of 1:59.520. Pyro just did a 1:59.790. So Aero definitely using that slipstream. And it looks like he's going to go for it. Sends it down the inside. He gets ahead at the first apex, stays ahead at the second, but he's going to run a little bit of wide in the gravel. But he gets the move done. But it is not over as we now have the run into the second chicane. Pyro is definitely not going to want to give this up at all, pushing his hardest. Is he going to be able to make a move, or is he going to have to wait for the final lap?
He's going to have to wait.
I think you are correct. Unable to get by, maybe just apply enough pressure to make it tough for Aero. Make Aero make a mistake as we ride on the bonnet cam here, getting ourselves a good view of the rear end of PHG Aero. Aero's been patient, being content sitting behind Pyro like that. And my only concern is that a too soon junior? Or was that the right opportunity?
Yeah, he definitely caught Pyro off guard. I think he caught us off guard too. I was not expecting him to try to make the move there. Pyro, putting on that pressure, like you said, TK. He's gonna have. Oh no! He just gotta have second penalty,
and that'll be served on the final lap. Yeah. He's got to get a move done and hope Aero gets a penalty.
He's probably going to go for it.
Yep. He's got to
try
now.
and slow him down.
Maybe hope Arrow get a penalty as well
Yeah.
as Pyro sends it. But Arrow's going to have a better exit.
Yep.
And there we have it. Arrow's going to get to the first chicane ahead of Pyro. Pyro, of course, with that half-second penalty, is going to take a lot. Now, we do know if you cut the first chicane, that's a second and a half. So it's possible for Arrow to have an issue here and get a penalty as well. As we can see up ahead, is that RW and Flux Flare not too far off. So Flux Flare with a 1.5 second gap on RW. RW with almost a 3 second gap on Pyro and Arrow. We see them coming out of the second chicane. Pyro definitely still all over the bumper, but that half-second penalty is going to hurt. Oh, that is so unfortunate. So Arrow made the right call at the right time.
Yeah.
It's like you said earlier, his only hope now is for Arrow to pick up a penalty. That half second is going to pretty much take him out of contention at a podium.
Indeed, and it looks like further back, Turbo under a bit of pressure from It's Just Carl as well.
Because I think even if he gotten a penalty this lap, he would just need to bring the gap up to over a second.
Indeed. So we'll go back. And Arrow there. Pyro serving the penalty really didn't hurt him all that much, but it is just too far back to make a move stick. We'll go back on board with our leader and race winner, assuming nothing goes wrong. He's got enough gas to get across the line. That is Flux Fuel for Team Porsche in P1, RW BMW P2, Arrow P3 for the Genesis, followed by Pyro. Turbo able to hold on to P5. What a roller coaster. Great recovery from Turbo. Great recovery from It's Just Carl. Really good recovery from Zilla after that lap 1 incident with that penalty. Strict 9 coming across in P8.
Old Man Pip was in P11, but he had to serve a half-second penalty. And that allows T-Rex Arms to overtake. And it looks like he will... Old Man Pip's going to take P12, unfortunately. Oh, nope. T-Rex is giving back the position to Old Man Pip.
He may have ran out of fuel. His hazards went on.
No, he still had fuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there we go. Up 4 positions, Flux Flare with the victory. Casual, will you read us through our race results, sir?
Oh, well, of course. And first, we have Flux Flare in the Porsche. And second, we have RW in the M4. Then rounding out the podium, we have PHG Arrow in the Genesis. Then we have fellow PHG, Pyro, also in the Genesis. Then in 5th place, we have PHG Turbo in the Cayman. In 6th place, we have PHG It's Just Carl, another Genesis. Then in 7th, we have RSR Zilla in the rare Lexus. Then in 8th, we have PHG Strict 9 in the GTR. And then for 9th place, we have BHR Beavis in the 650. And 10th place, we have PHG Shazam in the Citroen. Then in 11th, Old Man Pip with a respectable showing in that Magan. And then finally, we have T-Rex Arms in the 4C in 12th place.
What a race. PHG Arrow with the fastest lap. We saw multiple strategies. We saw very different manufacturers. We saw some cars we hadn't seen yet this weekend performing very, very well. I'd like to get your thoughts on this race and your driver of the split. Tussenbox, we'll start with you.
I gotta take the easy way out on this one. I gotta give my driver of the day to Flux. His race today was essentially flawless. I don't think he served a single pen. Um, yeah, just controlled his race. Didn't have the best qualifier, but worked his way through the field, stretched out those mediums, and yeah, it was just a really solid performance overall.
Indeed, yeah, he started P5 and to finish on top like that with a very good best lap as well. I couldn't agree more. How about you, Mr. Casual?
I will say it was a bit unfortunate that we had some carnage at the second chicane on lap one, but these kinds of tracks kind of breed that sort of contact, so it was bound to happen sooner or later. But I think it was a bit of a up and down managing uh, for our participants on whether they got a penalty or not, because you see just about everyone got a penalty at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So, so but I think everyone did pretty good, and it was yeah a good watch for Split 2. And driver of the day, I think I'm going to go with Arrow.
Man, you guys both stole mine. I would agree. I would agree with that as well because Arrow started P7, and not only did he get fastest lap, but he finished on the podium ahead of Pyro, who started P3. Well, since y'all stole mine, I'm gonna say PHG Turbo there, just because of the recovery, much like we saw last night with Papa, running really well up front, and that's the type of thing that can just absolutely destroy your race, make you want to rage quit and not play anymore. And so the fact that he came back to finish in the top 5, I think is excellent. So I'm gonna go with Arrow or Turbo on that one, but I also agree with Flux Flare and Arrow, and of course RW shout out, started P2, P2 finished P2. Very good job in the BMW. So there we have it. Split 2 is complete. Next up, we have Split 4. That'll be here momentarily after our break. Real quick, I want to remind you all of our sponsor, Lithograph Comics. Lithograph Comics is not a store, but rather a comic book enthusiast bringing awareness to the hobby and the comic book collecting community. Located on Instagram, you'll find Greg, aka Litho, sharing comic book history, stories, and his personal collection spanning 35 years of his comic book journey. That's Lithograph Comics on Instagram. Again, y'all, if you don't mind liking and subscribing if you are enjoying this video. Also, you can see my fellow co-hosts here. Both do streaming. Tussum Box over there on Twitch. Mr. Casual on YouTube. Please go check them out. Give them some support. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back for the final split. So go use the bathroom, get yourself a snack, refill your beverage, and we'll be back with another exciting race.
Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line.
And welcome back, everybody, and a big thank you to the proprietor himself, Papa's House of Game, PHG. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Wrench Wench, It's Just Carl, Dames, Brigsby, and Petey Snow. Welcome to Rainbow Leopard. Thank you so much, Papa. I greatly appreciate that. Couldn't have gone to better people either. Fantastic to see. Well, we are back, y'all. After Split 2 was a very exciting and eventful race. We had multiple race leaders. We had battles. We had contact. I, of course, am T-Case, and I'm joined by Tussin Box and Mr. Casual. Tussin Box, how are you feeling after that first race?
Yeah, it was a good one. Kind of like a chess battle with the different tire strategies. Split 4, I can't wait to see what what the drivers come up with in this race.
Indeed. And how about yourself, Mr. Casual?
Yeah, I had a grand old time watching Split 2. And then for our race that's to come in Split 4, I don't see any. I see a vast range of cars, so I'm curious on what sort of strategies we're going to see employed. Because yeah, it's like, because my car, the McLaren, kind of helps makes things easy.
Right.
It's like that's obviously not the case with everyone else. So it's like I'm curious to see what sort of strategies people employ in Split 4.
Indeed, indeed, yes. I'm looking forward to it as well. We got some production crew in this one. Some great people, or as the PHG slogan would be, "Great racers, better people." We've seen some great racing so far. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this round is going to entail. In case you missed the first 3 races, that we've done, we are at the Temple of Speed, Monza. We're doing 20 laps, 2 times tire wear, 3 times fuel on racing hards, racing mediums required. Racing softs are allowed, and we'll see those used for qualifying, but we have yet to see those used in a race. We are in the Group 4 machinery. This is a manufacturer's race. Everybody has picked a manufacturer, and they have to stick with it throughout the season. Now, if y'all are interested in joining, if you haven't done so already, there is a link to the website pinned in the chat. That's the Papa's House of Game website. Go check that out. You can sign up. It's not too late. You can sign up now. I signed up just to do one race. That was round 5 2 weeks ago. You can do one race. You can do them all. Get in here. We have somebody who I know for a fact signed up on Wednesday during qualifying, signed up and qualified. He's going to be in this split, so we're excited to have Dijon here, being the newest addition to the GT PHG World Series. Again, this is Season 2, Round 6. We're already in Round 6. I can't believe it. This season has been a blast. Let's go ahead and take a look at the drivers in this split. Tussenbox, if you don't mind reading through the drivers we have in this split.
Sure thing. We are going to have RSR Pablo driving for Lamborghini, Angry Fredbird driving for Genesis, Speed Bump driving for Honda, AGRT Chase in the AMG, Dahan driving for Team BMW, Big Joe 603, our fellow commentator, in the Alfa Romeo, Rio Shanman in the Toyota, T Calvert for Team BMW, and a few reserve drivers. We have PHG Sports Car, PHG Skellington, PHG Horn of Plenty, and Jimmy K9.
Awesome. So we got
Looks like we're going to have Cole joining
little
us.
SPC Cold Trickle as well. Fantastic. Yep. And I do want to point out RSR Pablo Chacon, a.k.a. Petey, he is the one who has made the graphic that you are seeing in front of your eyes at this moment. So he is part of our production crew as well. And yes, Big Joe was in the booth with us last night. Great to see him out there racing. Angry Fredbird, a brother of one of our fellow commentators of Slow Mo. So fun to see him. We got a Moose Mafia racer, and RSR, and AGRT. Very fun to see everybody out there. And actually, let's go ahead and remind everybody of the bonus points, because we saw some bonus points in that last race of not sure who led the most laps, so that'll make a difference. Mr. Casual, will you remind everybody of what these bonus points are?
Of course. So we have fastest overall qualifier for 5 points. Then if you get the pole in your split, that's 5 points. Then if you can get the fastest lap in your split, that's 5 points. And you can lead the most amount of laps, that's another 5. And if you can't get any of those, even if you only lead 1 lap, you get a point for that.
Indeed, indeed. So very good to see, because that is going to come into play, though I do believe the fourth split, the points aren't quite as available as in the other splits, but it's still fun racing. Good to see. Glad we were able to get some people to fill in these empty spots so that we have a full lobby of cars ready to rock and roll. We'll be getting started here in just a few minutes. Let's see. What have I forgotten? Have I forgotten anything? I don't think so. I could remind everybody, of course, that we are sponsored by Lithograph Comics. Go check out Lithograph Comics on Instagram, and a big thank you for the sponsorship. We can also go ahead and say thank you to several people behind the scenes. I've already pointed out Mr. Pablo Chacon for creating these great graphics. Shout out to Salamander, who's working tirelessly behind the scenes. All these overlays we're seeing, the credits you're going to see at the end of this stream, all that is put together by him. He's doing a great job, makes everybody's job easier. And also a big congratulations to him, because during his stream of qualifying on Wednesday, he hit that 500 subscriber mark. So that was a huge deal for him. Exciting that it happened on a PHG stream. Big congratulations to Salamander, and thank you, sir, for the hard work you do. Also, got to mention Shaggy Doo, PHG Shaggy Doo 88. He is the mastermind behind the PHG World Series, and he has done an incredible job of making these races so exciting. It doesn't matter what split it is, it's gonna be a good race, because these drivers qualify during the week. Their qualifying time during the week puts them in their split. Then they qualify for the race. And then we have an incredible race. All these races have had multiple strategies. We've had races with weather. And it really does make for some exciting stuff. And then, of course, we cannot forget the proprietor, Papa's House of Game. It's because of him that we're all here doing this. He has created such an amazing community, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. So glad Tussum, you and Mr. Casual joined us for this season. Thank you guys so much for having some interest in helping us out. It's been great to have and add more and more people to the broadcasting booth. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, starting here kind of opened up a few other avenues for me and other series doing comms for them. So I can't thank PHG enough for the opportunity that they've given me here.
That's awesome to hear. And Mr. Casual, making your commentating debut this season, have you been enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been a nice change of pace. I'll make it quick since qualifying is about to get underway. It's been fun, actually. Still being involved in racing, just not actually partaking in it if it's a combo I'm not particularly feeling. So
yeah,
it's been fun.
And that is enjoyable. I will say, like, I just did one race, but it is nice to be able to do the racing as well as be in the booth and kind of have that perspective. It's really great to have racers in the commentary booth giving their insight and perspective. Since both of you have done this race, it's been very great having you in here as we see these drivers getting on track. We got two Lamborghinis to start with, and I do want to point out, you'll notice the CBR drivers have the Mexican flag and roses and rest in peace on there. Mrs. Cornbread, if you don't know, CBR stands for Cornbread Racing. Mrs. Cornbread's mom passed away recently, and so all the CBR drivers are running liveries in honor of Mrs. Cornbread's mom. So our condolences to y'all, and we are very sorry for your loss, but good to see a team come together and rally behind one another like that.
Yeah.
We got another Lambo, that's our Pablo Chacon there. RSR driver.
Yeah, Mr. Graphic Designer himself.
Mr. Graphic Designer himself. Then we have the Budweiser Mobile number 49. Going old school, Angry Fredbird.
Well, with that livery, I'm expecting him to go anywhere but straight.
He's got the Hanky's Tavern livery on there as well. Hanky's Tavern has been a supporter of the GT7 community and the NRL specifically. It's fun to see local businesses and people getting behind us fun video game players who get out here having a good time. We got Jack Skellington in the Corvette. The base designed by our very own Salamander. And then Jack has put his own touch there. We see the Jack Skellington on the back. Our very own Big Joe and the Sweet Tarts. He mentioned this to me yesterday, saying, I know you like cars that look like they taste good. And I tell you what, that car looks like it would taste great.
A livery I almost chose. I did have a Skittles livery.
Ooh, I do like Skittles.
Yeah.
And then we got another Black Rifle coffee, our second Black Rifle coffee.
I see those, but I don't know if it tastes any good.
Black Rifle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never tried it. I get some locally roasted beans here from a guy up the street. I have a nice espresso machine, so I have a double shot of espresso every morning. AGR Chase changing up his livery. We got that fighter pilot look here. Very nice.
So,
and the
what is
lone
that, World War II?
Yeah. And we got Horn of Plenty in the Coors Light. We got Rocky Mountain beer right there. Nice and cold. PHG in the Cayman. Looking good.
Yeah.
Dijon in the BMW Smith Motorsports. T. Calvert in another BMW.
Ooh.
In Performance Valvoline. Gotta love the
Our
M
fellow
colors.
Our fellow colleague said about the Black Rifle coffee, it's all bad.
It's coffee, it's all bad. I like coffee.
It don't bother me because I actually don't drink coffee. Not because I don't hate it. I just usually not too bothered about coffee.
Yeah, I need my coffee in the morning, that's for sure. And in the summertime, I get a nice whiskey glass and do my double shot of espresso over ice as Jimmy K9 sets the fastest lap so far of a 2:01.566.
Let's see what Big Joe's got for us. Okay. Then we have. Okay. We have Tussim's fellow teammate, MMR Yeti, in second.
Indeed, and he's really close on the tail of Big Joe, sitting eighth. And that Lambo definitely has more straight line speed than the Alpha, so we'll see if that ends up being a hindrance to Yeti.
Yeah.
See what kind of time Big Joe's gonna have. He is up a little bit, enough to put him ahead of Angry Fredbird at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeti looking eager to get behind, or to get by Big Joe, wanting to take that pole position off his fellow Lamborghini driver. And Yeti.
Angry Fredbird's got a half-second pin at the moment, so he ain't going to have a good lap this time around in seventh.
Let's see if Yeti is improving or not. I highly doubt it, as they come across the line, and then we'll check on Chase just behind him. Yeti is able to improve.
He's
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 like
actually going. Sorry, Jimmy K9. He went purple in the second sector, but he just went wide coming into Parabolica. So I think that's gonna scratch that lap for him.
Yeti
Yeah,
is up
Yeti's-
on his time, not
yeah.
quite enough to get to K9, but you can gain a lot in this final sector.
Oh, yeah.
And he will have some slipstream from Big Joe as he goes around the outside, gonna try to carry speed. No, he runs too wide, unfortunately, as Jack Skellington
Yeah.
currently takes P2. Let's see where Chase is. He's not too far behind these guys. Oh, it looks like he may have served a penalty and fallen back.
Yeah. See, that's what I was talking about in this prior race about what I tended to stay by myself because you can run into those kind of situations.
Indeed, yep. You guys have a great point on that. Let's see if Calvert is able to improve. Currently sitting P10. About to come across the line, and he is definitely not, now that I actually look at his lap time, he is way off. So we'll go see. Jimmy has that 1 second penalty. Where's Jack? Going into Lesmo 1, which quickly turns into Lesmo 2. In the Corvette. They were on fire, really, especially off the line. I was surprised to see how well the Porsche did off the line. Horn's only down a little bit. He can easily make that up in this final sector.
Yeah, I'm just surprised to see Horn so far up. Wink, wink.
Well, Horn tends to qualify really well. It's when it comes to the longer races is where he tends to struggle, but he has out-qualified me many a time. That's for sure.
Pablo Chacon just went second fastest. He's only 6 thousandths away from Jimmy K9, but now he's he parked his car. Now he's reset to the middle of the straightaway on the just at the finish line.
Horn does improve, but not able to move positions, but maintain that P3. So good job for Horn. Interesting that Pablo is just kind of parked there. I'm not
Might have
sure.
something going on.
Some type of disconnect. That is not the best place to be, as we see T. Calvert coming across the line. Currently in P10. He moves up to P8.
Okay.
We'll see if Jimmy is able to improve. It looks like Chase is done qualifying, going ahead and putting those medium tires on, showing his hand, planning on starting on the mediums.
All right.
Yes, this should be the final lap of qualifying for everyone. Jimmy in P1, and he has improved. CBR driver looking...
And he's currently purple.
Yeah, looking good out there.
Oh, and third, lost it, so he ain't going to improve.
Yep, Horn of Plenty reset to the pits. Pablo Chacon still sitting there. Let's see what Jimmy's able to do. They were up on their time, just under a 10th.
I think that's going to be an improvement.
Across the line.
He does.
Wow, 3.5 tenths. We'll see if Jack Skellington is able to improve.
He
Is not.
Oh.
MMR Yeti next to come across the line.
Let's see what you got for us.
Currently in P5. And he does improve up to P3. Very nicely done by Yeti. Calvert with a penalty. Dijon currently sitting in P10 as he comes across the line, is not able to improve. I believe Angry Fredbird improved. And SPC is starting from the back. He stayed in the pits that entire qualifying session. We're seeing drivers opting for the mediums. I see Big Joe has already switched to the hards. Pretty quiet qualifying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What if something happened to Pablo Chacon because he still hasn't moved up? Oh, Car's finally in motion.
Wonder if he had to step away.
There we
That's
go.
what I'm thinking.
And he is reset to the pits.
Yeah.
And there
All right.
we have it. Tussum, will you read us through our qualifying results, please?
All right, taking pole position is Jimmy K9 in the Huracan with a 201.213. We've got RSR Pablo Chacon with a 201.572. In third place, rounding out the Huracan top three is MMR Yeti. The Horn of Plenty will line up next to Yeti in P4. P5 is PHG Skellington, and ARG Chase will line up next to him in P6. On the fourth row, we have Angry Fredbird in the G70 and Big Joe in the 4C. In P9, we have T. Calvert in the M4 and DeJohn in the M4 as well. We'll start P10. And PHG did not set a time, so he will be starting from the back in P11.
And it looks like he is in the police car, so he's going to be trying to chase people down and pull them over, if possible. Anything stand out to you guys in this one? Anything surprising that you saw?
Surprising? Looks like the Lamborghini can get a little loose if you're pushing it too much, like going into Parabolica. I did see that a few times. Yeah, I think it was a solid quality for the most part.
Indeed. How about you, Tussum?
The thing I noticed is that the Genesis, which seemed to be really dominant in other splits, didn't have the best qualifying session. They're starting in 7th, and well, I guess SPC didn't put in the lap, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on the Genesis to see how, if and how they can make their way through the field today.
Indeed. It will be interesting, and we do know SPC, aka Cole Trickle, is very fast. So I would not be surprised to see him move his way up the field after the start of this race. So we got the 3 Lambos starting 1, 2, and 3. They should be pretty quick off the line with that all-wheel drive, and then Horn of Plenty in P4
in that Porsche.
in the Porsche, and we know that thing can rip. Not exactly sure how the Corvette or the SLS AMG are off the line. But I feel like they're probably not the quickest, and then they got the Genesis behind them of Angry Fredbird. We already saw several drivers picking the mediums. I believe Big Joe is going to be starting on the hards, and should be pretty fun and eventful. Hopefully these drivers can keep it a little cleaner on that first lap than we saw in Split 2. But only time will tell.
Apparently, this is DeJohn's first time in Group 4.
Ah, yes. Be sure, if you're listening, DeJohn, be sure you're short shifting as well as UT Calvert, Team BMW. Short shift that baby, save that fuel, and work together. Would like to see
if you need a study case, look at, what was it, Ecstasy? Because he was driving automatic, and you could see I could just, over time, just kept pulling away from him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, as we wait for this race to get started, let me remind y'all, if you're interested in joining or being a part of, or just want more information, please be sure to click that link pinned in the chat. That'll take you to the Papa's House of Game website, and all the information is there, not just for the league, but all about Papa's House of Game. Please be sure to check his YouTube out, Papa's House of Game, and give him some love, as well as myself, Tussenbox, on Twitch and Mr. Casual on YouTube, as it looks like our race is about to get underway.
Yep.
I hope everyone's
All right.
ready. We're going to see how these Lambos do off the start. We are on board with Jimmy K9. Looking back at the rest of the field, they are revving it out. This is a grid start. We'll see these all-wheel drive cars get off the line very nicely. And oh my goodness, look at Jack Skellington. One position, two positions. Jack Skellington now in the lead. Jimmy K9 dropping to the back. I believe he did say he was going to drop back and start from the back. Jack Skellington with an excellent launch as they go 2x2 all the way back. Everyone keeping it clean. Well done. They're 3 wide in the back there, able to keep it all on track. Nobody goes off, and that was incredible. I think that was Angry Fredbird in the middle of that 3 wide pack going through the chicane. I have it marked to go back and take another look. And they're still side by side further back with Horn of Plenty and MMR Yeti as Pablo Chacon tries to go and put a move on. And he's able to get it done. Well done, Pablo Chacon, inside, outside, and in front of Jack Skellington. Nowhere for Jack to go. And there we have it, looking clean all the way back through the field as, oh no, Chase goes wide, but able to keep it on the track as Cole Trickle is already moving up through the field. Cole up to P7. Yeah. Let's go back real quick and see exactly what happened here at the start up ahead. And it looks like, Chase gets into Fredbird, and then there's some weird ghosting.
Some action.
And there it goes.
Jack was kind of going for it, but ended up backing out, going into the Scary. And Yeti had a brief look, but backed out as well.
And Dijon up to P5 now. So now we have RSR Pablo Chacon in P1 on the racing mediums. Jack Skellington on the hards. That would make sense. Well, Jack got an incredible launch off the line as, MMR Yeti.
Jimmy got sideways coming into Ascari. He just spun and now he's in last.
Oh my goodness. That is very tough to hear. Unfortunately.
We got Jimmy K9, Fredbird, and T Calvert all in the back. I couldn't quite see what happened to Fredbird and T Calvert. I don't know if they got caught up in that because what happened was Jimmy went a little bit deep into Ascari.
We got some action as Horn of Plenty makes the move there as Skellington has a little issue going into the chicane. Horn of Plenty now up into P2, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4 cars right there with them. Dijon now up into P3. Dijon having an incredible race so far. Up into P2 as they go side by side into the second chicane. It's 2x2 Noah's Ark action happening here. No, Dijon up ahead, able to keep it there. Jack able to keep P4, and it continues on further back as I see Big Joe going side by side. That was very nicely done going through that. I would like to take another look at that. We're going to ride on board, and I didn't do it in time, unfortunately, so that's my fault. As Cole Trickle now gets up ahead of Jack Skellington. Jack falling behind now on those racing hards. Go back up with Pablo Chacon, who is running away with it. And Dijon in P2 with Horn of Plenty not far behind. Looking nice. Cole Trickle from last to fourth already in 2 laps. He's looking to get his way up. He's got his eyes set on Pablo Chacon up ahead. He's thinking, I just need to clear Horn of Plenty and Dijon here, and it'll be my race to win.
He's got really good pace on those hard tires. He is the first of the hard runners in this race. There's also Skellington, Big Joe, Jimmy K9, and T Calvert on the hards.
As we got, and Skellington already in the pits ditching those hards. I think he's comfortable with his fuel wear, and he's going to come out on the mediums and not too far behind. SPC looking to potentially make a move. I thought Horn was going to dive up the inside, but Horn holds off and stays in third with SPC just behind. Now Horn looking to take the inside into this long right-hander, and that's going to allow SPC to follow him through. Going to put them on the outside going into the second chicane. No, Dijon cuts back in. That forces SPC to the inside as they go side by side into the chicane. Late on the brakes is SPC. They go side by side. Horn of Plenty able to hang on to it. SPC trying to make a move on Dijon. They're going 3 wide. Now SPC ahead. Horn of Plenty losing 2 positions there, just like that.
Yeah.
How did that even happen? We're right on board here.
Ooh-wee.
So there's SPC. Dijon losing the position. SPC diving up the inside.
Yeah.
And Horn able to stay ahead, but he gets a little squirrely.
Ooh.
They go 3
Yeah.
wide, and that allows Dijon up through. Well done. Good, clean driving by all involved. The battle for P2 is now over as SPC sets his sights on Pablo Chacon. We'll go a little further back as that has now calmed down. Yeti in P5 trying to catch up to Horn of Plenty. Chase in P6. Jimmy back up to P7 after dropping back to the back at the beginning of the race. Then we have Angry Fredbird, Big Joe, T. Calvert further behind, and Jack Skellington with a pit lane penalty.
Oh.
He is our first driver to have pit and unfortunately crossed the pit line, and now serving that penalty is going to hurt him, but he's still only 33 seconds off the lead. So everybody else is going to have to pit. If he can put his head down and put some lap times in, I think he'll be okay. As the battle for P3 continues to heat up, MMR Yeti and their Dijon and Horn of Plenty, they just met, but they're becoming very, very friendly. And Yeti now making his move. This is just what we saw on the last lap, but now Dijon on the outside. He tucks back in. Horn up into P3. Can he hold on to it, or is Yeti going to make a move? No, Yeti stays in place. Single file, they go through, and the positions stayed the same.
More things change, and more they stay the same.
Indeed. As no, Dijon
really
runs wide, but
Go ahead.
Dijon ran wide, but he was able to keep it on track. So all good as Horn runs wide, allowing Yeti through. Yeti's going to take P3 from Horn of Plenty. Were you seeing something else?
No, I was just commenting on Cole's pace. He's doing well on the hards, and he's slowly closing in on Pablo Chacon. He's about 3 seconds back at this point.
So MMR Yeti back into P3, Horn in P4, RSR Pablo Chacon getting all those laps led, trying to hold on to it. As man, this battle between Dijon and Horn is fantastic.
Yeah.
They have swapped positions I don't know how many times. We're only on lap 4, and now Chase is joining the party.
Yeah, he's pretty busy for what, 2 through 6?
Indeed.
And Jimmy just had a moment into Parabolica in 8th. He ended up going into the gravel.
Let's take a look here. Was able to catch it this time. Getting quicker with my fingers on the keyboard. Oh yeah, just too deep.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, the Lambo can, for an all-wheel drive car, the back end can step out both under acceleration and braking, and he's taking this opportunity to hop in the pits and go ahead and take advantage of that.
Yeah, you may as well, since you lost time and you already have a pin as well. So. Yeah.
And while we were looking at that, Yeti has now pulled a gap on Dijon. Dijon ahead of Chase. Chase able to get ahead of Horn of Plenty.
Okay.
And Horn of Plenty has fallen back into P6. Things are slowly quieting down, but I have a feeling they're about to get real loud here as the police catches up to Pablo Chacon.
Yeah, he's about 2.4 or so off and working on it.
And working on it, pulling a gap to Yeti, 5 seconds ahead of Yeti. Cole SPC there on a mission, trying to catch him up, and and Yeti continuing to pull away from Dijon. Dijon now under a lot of pressure from Chase there. Chase within a second of Dijon. We'll take a look here on the Chase cam. Looks a little further back, but still in that slipstream range. We'll see if there's a difference under braking between these two cars as they come into Parabolica.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see Chase chasing in the Chase cam.
And SPC goes into the pits to get off of his hards.
Okay.
That was enough. Hopefully he can make that fuel last there to the end.
Yeah.
Pitting at the end of lap 6 there, or at the end of lap 5.
Okay. Yeah, that gives Pablo a bit of a chance to breathe now, but it's not over.
And Big Joe as well hopping into the pits in his Alfa Romeo. And look how close under the braking there, going into the first chicane. Chase was able to catch up, but then not the best exit.
So Cole does manage to come out ahead of the other drivers who have already made their pit stop. He came out 38 seconds behind.
Okay, not bad. 11 seconds ahead of Skellington, who has pitted as well. Jimmy K9 did his pit stop after that incident in Parabolica and is only 4 seconds behind Skellington.
I apologize. I said Cole was 36 seconds, but he's 26 seconds behind. I was looking at the wrong driver.
Yeah, it happens. But close enough to where when these pit stops happen, it'll be interesting to see. As Chase is now pulling away from Dijon.
Yeah.
And there's Horn of Plenty. Dijon and Horn can't get enough of each other.
Yeah. To answer your question, Arrow, Fretbird's on mediums. Yeah, he was curious about what Fretbird was on.
Thank you for checking that. Y'all, if y'all liking what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Would greatly appreciate it.
Warner Plenty got a pretty good exit coming out of Ascari. Might be able to attack going into the first chicane.
Oh, I went back too far. Here we go. On board with Horn of Plenty. Yeah, he's got a much better run. He's going to get the overspeed. They are tight to one another. Horn's going to make it happen, Cap'n. Oh, but can he get the switchback? No, Dijon's not able to, but he might get a bit of a better run. No, Horn pulling away. Very nicely done on Horn of Plenty. These two continuing to swap positions. They need to go out for a beer after this or something. As we come into the second chicane, just having to back out a little bit. Now Horn is going to be determined to try to catch back up to Chase. Chase having a solid start to this race so far. Little bit of incidents there at the beginning, but working his way up the field.
Yeah, making the best of his situation, up in third.
Indeed. An angry Fredbird not too far behind, hoping to catch this pack on the racing mediums like you had said. Team Genesis, working his best, and Cole 8 seconds behind him. Cole already having served his pit stop. Wonder how Pablo's doing on fuel. That Lamborghini's looking great on fuel. So is the Lamborghini of MMR Yeti. Chase, not too shabby. Horn's looking good, and Dijon looking good. All drivers with over half a tank. Even Angry Fredbird with half a tank, though, looking a little worse than the drivers ahead.
Yeah.
As we start lap 8 of 20. Now these top 6 drivers have not pitted yet. Those drivers behind have pitted, so we will see a shakeup here towards the end of the race in that lap 16 through 19 range. We'll see these medium tire drivers dive into the pits.
Jiminy's making a move on P8. Jack Skellington coming down the main straight. He's going to have the outside line. Skellington's on the inside.
Keep talking us through it there, Tussum.
Speed's almost identical, so it's going to be a contest of who's later on the brakes, and it's going to be Skellington later on the brakes, going to get his stop. Just hold the apex. He does. Manages to exit the second apex cleanly. He will maintain P8, but Jimmy's going to have one more opportunity going into the second chicane. He's going to get as much of that slip as he can. Skellington holding the inside as they go around the long right-hander. Let's see, Jimmy's might stick behind. Skellington decides not to go completely defensive, sticks it on the middle of the track. And they will stay as they are coming out of the second chicane. Jimmy with a really good exit, not quite. Oh, he might go for it. Dives down the inside, but Skellington cuts him off a little bit. Jimmy's still going to maybe try to attack going into Les Mill 2. Kind of compromises his line a little bit. Skellington gets a little bit sideways, so that compromised his exit. Jimmy will have yet another attack coming into Ascari.
Oh boy.
I was giving him a bump draft, though. Maybe he's going to hold off on a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, that was...
Because, going to Ascari, you kind of need overspeed. Otherwise, you're both just going to lose time if you're fighting through Ascari.
Indeed, and now he's getting another run here. It's Jack. Okay. I got to give it to him. He's not going full defensive, but he's putting that Corvette just enough to where there's really not enough room. This isn't the widest of tracks. So instead of super compromising his own line, he's just putting his car just enough over that Jimmy's really going to have to commit to an overtake if he wants to get it done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like this is over either as they come down the start-finish straight into the first chicane yet again. You know, a 2-minute lap time, it sounds like a lot, but 2 minutes goes by really quick when the action is happening.
So I'm wondering if he's hoping to...
Ooh. A little bit of a compromise exit there. That's going to give Jimmy the run and the inside line here on this long right-hander, which will allow for the outside to the inside into the chicane. But Jack able to stay ahead. That V8 power of the Corvette really seemed to be pulling. And can anything happen here? Ooh, a little bit of contact, and they're able to stay on the track. I don't know if enough space was given, but that's a track limit penalty for Jimmy for cutting the chicane, but he didn't have anywhere to go. I want to look at this again. Tussum, tell me what you think about this here.
So he tries to stick it around the outside in the first part of the chicane, and it looks like he was forced to cut that a little bit. I know in some cases the game will be lenient, and if there's contact, they won't hand out a penalty. But in that case, Jimmy was a little bit unlucky, and he would be serving that half-second penalty before Ascari on this lap. Before Parabolica.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think Jimmy should have backed out of that one. There wasn't anywhere for him to go, and I don't think Jack needed to necessarily give him that space. He wasn't really alongside him there, and just still tried to make it cut across. And so there's the penalty, but still the battle continues.
That Skellington actually lifted to allow Jimmy to keep P8. So
good
I think he felt as though he was partly to blame for that penalty.
And that's fair enough. I mean, I'm not a steward. I just say what I saw, and if Jack felt like he didn't give enough space and felt like that was on him, great sportsmanship. We do see that PHG next to his name. Great racers, better people. Great sportsmanship by Jack. Well done. As Jimmy goes a little deep there, allowing Jack, almost an opportunity. And it looks like Horn of Plenty back up there in P3
Oh, dear.
gets ahead of Chase. I wonder if we can see what happened or if it's too late. And it looks like coming out of the second chicane, Horn of Plenty able to get the job done into Lesmo 1, staying on the inside of Lesmo 2. Well done to Horn of Plenty, and he's leaving his best friend Dejan in the dust there, with Dejan gonna have to serve a half a second penalty.
Oh, Angry Fredbird actually just got past Dejan for P5 as they approach the Scary.
Yeah.
Let's go back and take a look at that one. See how that, as he goes up the inside. And sure enough, just with the overspeed, can he get it slowed down? All-wheel drive working well for him, and now there's nowhere for Dejan to go.
Yeah.
So Angry Fredbird up into P5, Horn of Plenty in P3, Yeti in no man's land. As Jimmy is about to serve his penalty, and Skellington, oh no, he got another penalty.
God dang.
Another penalty. Big Joe currently sitting in P10. Calvert in 11.
SBC's making a move on Fredbird for P5 going into the first chicane.
Yep.
Takes the inside. Pretty textbook overtake for P5.
Here, we'll take a
Cool.
look at that again.
Use that slipstream, get that extra speed. Pulls out at just the right moment. And hard on the brakes. Angry Fredbird looks like he was a bit earlier than he needed to be. Not sure if that was intentional or if he just yielded, but yeah, again, pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward overtake going into T1.
And he's already has the fastest lap, currently putting in another fastest lap, and 16 seconds off Pablo. Pablo still has to pit. It's looking like SPC has the net lead at the moment. But we still got a long way to go.
Let's see. Yeah, it's like Pablo's probably all right now, but it's like he definitely can't take his foot off the gas.
Nope.
Jimmy just picked up a 1.5 second penalty.
That-
He's 2 seconds ahead of Skellington, so I think he'll be at risk at dropping back to P9.
I think you are correct. We'll stay on board with him and see if that is the case. These penalties are killing these drivers. I saw earlier Pyro had said he served like 9 penalties in his race.
Oh, geez.
It is not forgiving around here. You can really, really hurt yourself.
Yeah, going through editing the video from my race, I had ended up, I think I got like 3 penalties.
There
I think
goes
it was.
Skellington through.
Yep.
Nice and easy. So that is Jack up into P8. Well, only serving 3 penalties. That's very impressive, Mr. Casual. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's like, I think if this was actually on the default penalty setting, because I think we're on weak for a shortcut penalty. I think if it was like default, it'd be a bit more strict.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. As we see Chase and Horn of Plenty. Horn has to be sweating. With that half-second penalty there.
Yeah. And I've seen SPC is on another purple lap.
SPC just putting down the times.
Yeah.
As it looks
Need
like.
to have that Steve Urkel soundbite for commentators curse. Did I do that?
Indeed. Indeed. As they come in. So it should allow Chase ahead of Horn of Plenty, but ever so slightly. And then, of course, SPC will be looking to get by both of them. And, you know, we've seen a lot of battles, and it's already lap 12. This is typically where it kind of lulls a little bit, but we've yet to have a lull in the action. Again, just showing how tight the fields are through every split. as Chase
Yeah,
now
it's-
takes the third place off of Horn.
Yeah, it tends to get into that low somewhere around lap 7 to lap 12 or 13.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's been busy.
Busy.
Jimmy has gotten back past Skellington for P8. Couldn't catch where it happened, but he's now just under a second ahead of Skellington.
And I think we might see Horn put a move on Chase going into the second chicane. Just depends on what type of exit we're going to get here. So we're right on board. And if we look behind, there's Mr. SPC hunting them down. But it looks like Chase got a good enough exit out of the first chicane that he's going to be safe. But Horn is closing in here. He thinks about it. Ooh, Chase almost makes a big mistake touching his tire to the grass. If you do that at the wrong time and apply the brakes, that's just going to send you spinning. As Cole Trickle makes the move up the inside into Lesmo 1, and now he's going to be looking to make that move again on Chase, perhaps into Lesmo 2.
His exit out of that second chicane was insanely fast. He was able to blow past Horner Plenty like he wasn't even moving.
It looks like he's going to get the move done on Chase going into Ascari. I have it flagged so we can go back and see that textbook chicanery from Cole Trickle himself, as he's going to hold off going for the overtake. Chase goes a little bit deep. That's really going to compromise. He's getting squirrely. Cole has to slow down just a little bit there.
Yeah, he couldn't do nothing. He was like, I bet he was like, dang it.
Yep, nowhere to go, and you can see the power difference there in that Genesis, in the slip. He wants to do something, and he's just going to have to wait. As Chase goes a little bit deep, Cole goes up the inside. He's going to get the overspeed, and it's going to be all said and done. Let's go back and see how Cole managed that overtake going into the second chicane. Look how far back he is. He is miles back, but he slows it down, and look at that. Gets on the power. Nothing Horn can do. That all-wheel drive system working wonderfully. And Dejan going into the pits on the mediums.
Yep.
Getting off the mediums, going for the hards now.
All right.
It's like a bit of an early stop because he's got pretty good tire wear and he's just under a quarter of a tank. So I wonder if he's potentially trying to go for an undercut on someone. I don't know. That's a bit odd if you ask me. I would have stayed out a bit longer.
Yeah. And maybe he's just not comfortable on... Some drivers just aren't comfortable on lower tire wear than others. And also, because of where he stopped, he didn't have to add as much fuel either. So a little bit quicker of a pit stop. We see Angry Fredbird in the background wanting to join in on this battle between Horn and Chase.
All right. So let's see. Ooh. All right, you need to chill, SPC, or AKA Cole. He going into the third sector, and he's on purple.
On purple, so might we see a 159 as his fastest lap, or not quite there yet?
I think he was like a half-tenth purple.
Okay. So potentially a slight improvement as Horn has caught back up to Chase just behind them.
Yeah. And he will have a... Ooh, almost.
So Cole is moving. And again, Yeti and Chacon have yet to pit. So, and there we go. Horn of Plenty going for it again into the chicane.
Ooh.
Horn goes deep. He goes
Oh, that was
really
really
deep.
deep.
Oh no, he's going to get reset.
Is that a reset? Oh, that is unfortunate. I do want to see that again, though.
I think with how hard they were battling, that seemed like it was inevitable for one of those guys to make that mistake.
Yep, and he wants it, and then right there realizes I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep. And he resets, unfortunately. Sorry, Horn, you've been having one heck of a race, my friend. Keep up. It's not over yet. With your pace, you can catch back up. You didn't fall too far off those guys. Let's see. Where is Yeti? 5 seconds ahead of SPC. And then 5.5 seconds up the road is RSR Pablo Chacon coming around. They're looking good on fuel. Tussenbox, when do you predict Pablo to pit as we see Yeti with a 1.5 second penalty?
Looking at the condition of his tires and his fuel, he could go until lap 19.
Yeah.
I don't see anything preventing him from essentially going the full race with those mediums.
Very impressive, very impressive. All that clean air. And Yeti as well having clean air, but that 1.5 second penalty is definitely going to bring SPC that much closer. As we see Chase having some free air. There goes Chase into the pits. He is running low on fuel, only 11% fuel left. That allows Angry Fredbird up into P4. And Horn of Plenty trucking along in P5. Let's see where Jimmy K9's going to be. As he is ahead, 4 seconds ahead of Jack Skellington. Will he come out ahead of Chase? Chase gets his fuel. I do not think he will come out ahead of Chase.
No.
Chase is now exiting the pits.
Yeah. He'll have some speed and will catch a little bit, but yeah, he'll come out in front of Jimmy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Chase serving his pits. He is only 19 seconds behind Horn, so that's pretty positive for him to undercut Horn and Angry Fredbird. So we're looking at potentially a net P4 for Chase.
Okay.
Yeti will be serving his penalty soon. Let's see how much that hurts him, as Cole has now closed down the gap to 3 seconds between the two.
Oh, Horn of Plenty. He just went wide in Lesmo 2. Dipped the tires in the sand, but managed to keep the car moving forward. That does pick up some damage, though.
That is unfortunate. I wonder if we can see that, or if I'm too late. Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, at least he keeps it pointed straight. We've seen a lot worse.
And it wasn't even the sand. It was that AstroTurf that you get to after the curb.
And there we go. SPC taking the lead off of Yeti due to that penalty and setting the fastest
another
lap.
purple.
A 159. But Yeti holding on well in the slipstream, only half a second behind. As Angry Fredbird goes into the pits with only 2% tire. That is Horn of Plenty into the pits, so that should allow us to see Chase come through. Let's see if we can see Yeti serving his penalty, and easily allowing SPC Cole Trickle through. And where are we with Chase? Chase getting ahead of Horn, but unable to get ahead of Angry Fredbird. No, he does get ahead of Angry Fredbird. This is the second time we've seen the driver come out of the pits only to lose the position. Angry Fredbird in P5. Chase back up into P4. He is 33 seconds behind Yeti.
Okay.
Yeti has not pit yet, so it looks like Yeti should maintain P3. Where is Cole in relation to Pablo Chacon? He is 6.7 seconds behind.
Do keep in mind that Pablo and Yeti do still have to make a pit stop. SPC is good to go until the end.
Yes, this is looking like an SPC last to first special coming in the Genesis. Let's go further back and check in on Jack Skellington. Currently sitting 7 seconds behind Jimmy And 11 seconds in front of Dijon. Dijon 2.6. He has taken his pit stop, but so has Big Joe, who's only 2.5 seconds behind, followed by T. Calvert. And there goes Yeti into the pits. He should come out well ahead of Chase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Angry Fredbird not too far behind. 2 seconds. Now under 2 seconds. Angry Fredbird now putting on the chase on Chase. Seeing if he can't catch up as Jimmy K9 is now ahead of Horn of Plenty.
And the gap to Pablo and SPC is down to 6 seconds now. And counting.
So the question is, how far is Yeti? Yeti is 30 seconds off of Pablo. So it looks like Pablo should be able to maintain a P2 in this race.
Yeah.
Assuming he doesn't have any major errors.
Yeah,
Yeti tries to get some heat in those racing hard tires.
Currently, where Pablo is at and Yeti is at, it's like, I think they're going to see each other.
Indeed, they should, They should be able to see each other, but I think Pablo will maintain that lead on him as Chase is having to think about Angry Fredbird, who's closed half a second since the start of this lap now. And then Jimmy K9 not too far behind as Angry Fredbird goes deep. That allows Jimmy K9 through. And Horn of Plenty, is there going to be contact? No. Horn of Plenty able to get through as well. Can Horn hold on to it? Yes, he can. Angry Fredbird losing several positions there. We'll go back and take a look at that again. Exactly what happened here. As I believe he just goes too deep. Misses his braking. Does he touch? No. Just doesn't get it slowed down enough. That allows K9 and then Horn of Plenty avoiding contact there. Getting the run going into Lesmo 1. And again, a roller coaster of position changes for these drivers.
Oh. It can be easy to do, to miss your braking, or like you get your braking right, but you don't turn in soon enough.
And look here, Angry Fredbird has an answer as he comes back at Horn of Plenty. Goes into Ascari up the inside. Nowhere for Horn to go as Angry Fredbird does a full send. Wow. These drivers have been all over the place. Keeping us on our toes as we start the penultimate lap here. 2 laps to go. SPC now 3.5 seconds behind Pablo. Pablo's going to have to come in this lap. I believe Pablo is the only driver yet to pit. So aside from Pablo, we're looking at our race order as we see blue flags being waved. And that would be because of T. Calvert just up the road.
Oh, okay.
T. Calvert in the BMW would like to not get lapped, but he will need to get out of the way as soon as Pablo catches him. And look at Pablo's fuel. He planned this perfectly. He knew exactly how long he could go in his Lamborghini. He's got Cole behind him. He is going to dive into the pits here, and that is going to release SPC. Cole Trickle into the lead. Cole will get 1 lap led. Pablo Chacon will get those points for most laps led. And then SPC will get the single lap led.
Yep.
We go further back as Chase is now under pressure from Jimmy K, who, remember, started at the front and dropped back to do a last to first challenge, much like we see Hako do in the dailies. And it looks like he is really applying that pressure. Not much Chase can do. He's trying to give him a little bit of a squeeze. A little bit of a squeeze
He's
there. Up the inside, nowhere for Chase to go other than let him through. And that is Jimmy K9 up into P4. Pablo Chacon came out in second place. As Jimmy.
Well, that's happened in the battle for P9 is starting to heat up. Big Joe is on the medium tires chasing DeJohn on the hard tires. So these last few laps, he's had a tire advantage. Diving down the inside of Parabolica.
Okay.
He has the lead for now, but will he be able to hold on to it? We know that 4C doesn't have the most power.
Yeah.
We'll see if DeJohn can make another attack going into the first chicane.
Oh boy.
Here we go. And he is running low on fuel, but he should have enough for that final lap, using all 7 of that BMW's gearbox. That is a lot. He thinks about it, but he's just too far back. Can Big Joe get it slowed down? Yes, he does. Oh, but he gets a little bit better exit here.
Yeah.
Here we go. DeJohn, Big Joe goes defensive. Or no, I'm sorry, he goes on the outside, which should allow him to go defensive.
And we got our leader getting ready to cross the line.
Coming out of Parabolica.
As SPC Cole Trickle last to first with the win. Pablo Chacon not too far behind.
Save a replay if you can.
Yep.
DeJohn ended up getting in front of Big Joe coming into the second chicane. DeJohn got wide coming out of Lesmo 1. Big Joe sneaks down the inside of Lesmo 2. Takes back P9. DeJohn got a bit of a compromise exit, so it's gonna be tough for him to try to catch back up to Joe. He's now back out of the slipstream range as they approach Ascari.
All right, let's take a look.
Okay. Let's see.
It looked like DeJohn was actually already ahead before they got to the chicane. Big Joe tried to take the inside, but a little bit of contact there.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, that power of that 4C, it's just not there.
And then he runs deep, allowing Big Joe back through.
And I think he goes deep here as well.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
And that is the race over. Wow. I mean, I think that was the most action-packed all the way through race we had all weekend. Congratulations to the Duracell man, SPC Cole Trickle, raising 10 positions, clean race. Did he also get fastest lap? Mr. Casual, take us through these results, please.
So we have in first place, PHG SPC, aka Cold Trickle. And second, we have RSR Pablo Chacon. Then in third, we have MMR Yeti, which I'm sure that makes Tuzum happy. And in fourth, we have Jimmy K9 of CBR. Then in fifth, we have AGRT Chase. Then in sixth, we have Angry Fredbird. In seventh, we have PHG Horna Plenty. And then in eighth, we have PHG Skellington. And next up, we have Big Joe in ninth place. Then we have in 10th, DeJohn. Good outing considering he's never driven Group 4 before. So, well done. And finally, we have T. Calvert in 11th.
Awesome, awesome. Y'all, that was... So, I want to point out, so DeJohn started 10th and finished 10th. But at one point, he was up in P3. I mean, what a roller coaster there. Could have been an epic one, unable to hold on to it. So, again, big shout out to DeJohn. Thanks for joining us. Glad you signed up and found this league. We're happy to have you. I hope you had fun. That concludes our races for round 6 is in the books, y'all. Next up is round 7. Anybody, I don't have it pulled up here. What is round 7? Do we know?
It's Bathurst.
Bathurst, Mount
Ugh.
Panorama. I do like
Yeah.
that track. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be a fun one to call in the booth. That's for sure. Well, gentlemen, that is one more race done. Tussum, who are you thinking your driver of this split, and any thoughts on the race we witnessed?
Yeah, that was an entertaining race from start to finish. If I had to pick just one driver for driver of the day, ooh, I don't know. It's like give me a 12-sided dice. That's how I gotta figure it out. All right, I'm gonna narrow it down. I'm gonna say. Shoot, I still can't narrow it
Yeah.
down. I'm gonna say Jimmy K9.
Okay.
It's so hard to pick, but Jimmy K9 he gave us some entertaining battles with who was it? Fredbird, I think it was. Or no, it was Skellington. Sorry.
Ellington, yeah.
He even though he served some penalties, those penalties really hurt him, but he kept his head down, and every time Skellington was able to get past after serving those penalties, he was able to take the spot back and start trying to claw his way back up the field. So I would say Jimmy K9 if I had to pick just one.
There you go. And how about yourself, Mr. Casual?
I'm going to say I'm going to have to go with Cole Trickle.
Yeah.
For me, that's who I have to go with because he did go from the back, so he had to safely navigate all the traffic and make sure he doesn't inadvertently nudge anyone, shall we say? Because it's like it's easy to say you're going to do it, but it's like you have to be able to do it, and so for that, I give it to Cole.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, this one's a tough one to call, just because of how many on-track battles we had, the back and forths. I mean, we had Horn and Dijon, and also Horn and Chase and Angry Fred. Like,
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna say Pablo Chacon. He has the most laps led of this race. He started P2, finished P2. So I'm going to give it to Pablo. And that is that. That is that, y'all. Congratulations.
I came close to giving it to the Jean. I was like, I was close. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, if he could have finished up there in that top 5 where he was sitting, I think that would have been an easy pick, but unfortunately the race kind of unraveled there at the end. But I mean, kudos to all these drivers. Again, big shout out to Jack Skellington. In my opinion, I don't think he needed to give that position back. I think he had the right to be there, but he felt that he was in the wrong, and shout out to him for giving that position back. So sportsmanship award goes to PHG Jack Skellington. Really great racing. I'm impressed with this being quote unquote the bottom split. To see that kind of wheel to wheel racing that we saw from so many drivers who have never raced together before. On top of that, like a lot of these guys haven't raced together, and that was really good, respectful driving. So kudos to y'all. Thank you all for spending your Saturday afternoon with us, hanging out, chatting, liking, subscribing, racing, being a part of this. I do want to remind you that we are sponsored by Lithograph Comics. Lithograph Comics is not a store, but rather a comic book enthusiast bringing awareness to the hobby and the comic book collecting community. Located on Instagram, you'll find Greg, aka Litho, sharing comic book history, stories, and his personal collection spanning a 35-plus year comic book journey. That's Lithograph Comics on Instagram. I am T-Case. I was joined today by Tussum and Mr. Casual. There's so many people behind the scenes. Papa, Petey, Salamander, Shaggy, C-Dubs, Big Joe, Mustang Chuck, Leo, Toon, everybody. I'm sure I've missed a couple, but y'all have done great work. It has been a blast to be a part of this. If anybody watching hasn't done so already, click that link in the chat that's pinned in the chat. That'll take you to the PHG website. Check it out, sign up, be a part of it. Please go give some support to Tussenbox over there on Twitch, to Mr. Casual on YouTube. Tussenbox, I'll let you go ahead and sign off to our friends and fans out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help control the box population. Have your boxes crushed and recycled. And we will see you next week in, I'm not even going to attempt the accent. I was about to. Australia for Bathurst.
For Bathurst, indeed. And Mr. Casual.
Well, I guess I'll leave everyone with it's my nerdy side coming out. A nerdy joke of the next time you feel down, go find yourself a proton.
Go find yourself a proton. You heard it here. And I am
Because for those who don't know, it's positively charged.
It is positively charged, and we need more positivity in this world. PHG, that's great racers, better people. I'm TCase. Thank you all. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Stick around. We got the credit reel that's going to roll. It's going to give everybody's information who's involved, because I'm sure I forgot somebody. I'll let the credit reel roll for a little bit. Be sure you go check out everybody. Give them their support. I hope everyone has a great day. Y'all take care.
Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victor's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victor's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PSG forever, crossing the line. like a gift, speeding down the lane. Victor's in our name. We win together.